Hey there, my name is Gabrielle Girard. I'm a stretch coach at NYC Stretching. Today I'm going to go through some specific exercises and flexibility poses for hairdressers. We're going to be focusing on your wrists, posture, back, and legs so you can stay motivated and feeling your best throughout your whole entire workday.
The first exercise is for your wrist, keeping it mobile and loose throughout the day. Holding your arm by your side and with your other hand, grab right underneath your wrist, extend your hand out in a fist first. Isolate the wrist by going up, down, side, side. Try not to move your fingers as best as possible. After you've gone up and down and side to side, you can then do circles. After the fist, you can then extend your palm out and have your fingers close together. Repeat the same thing, side, side, and up and down. You can do this about 8 times each way. After you've done so, do circles with your wrists, trying not to move your fingers in each direction, counterclockwise and clockwise. After you've had your palms out with your fingers closed, you can then extend your fingers. This one's a bit harder. Be sure to keep your posture in place and try to just isolate the wrist. Doing these consistently will help you and also allow you to stay feeling your best throughout the day. After you've done both sides, you can then do both hands at the same time. Again, bringing your elbows close to your body and starting out with fists, then palm extended out with closed fingers, and then palm extended out with open fingers. Again, we go through up and down, side to side, and then do clockwise and counterclockwise with our wrists. You can do as many reps as you feel needed per day. Next, you can stretch out your wrists and fingers by pulling them back. Again, I'm just isolating the wrist, and this time you can be a little bit looser with your arm though. So you can extend the palm out in front of you and then push the palm in. This is in addition to the mobility exercise I showed before. Doing this throughout the day will allow you to stay loose and pain-free. With my hands clasped together behind my back, I can bring my arms up and down behind me. Again, I'm trying to close my rib cage, keeping my core tight as possible while breathing at the same time. You can even look down if you need to, instead of arching your low back. Only go as high as you can, and don't arch your back. Next, you can bring your elbow behind your head as far as you can go. Again, I'm keeping my rib cage closed. I always do both sides, making sure that my body is symmetrical. After you've done your arm behind your head bent, you can extend that arm out and even bend and stretch if you need to. Finding your posture is super important for your day. We're always slouched over with technology and daily work. Rolling your shoulders back while closing your rib cage is really helpful for feeling where you need to be. Make sure you don't overextend your rib cage. Next, you can start by stretching your head to one side. From there, you can start taking your shoulder up and down for an increased stretch and keep pulling through. Do both sides each day. Consistency is key. The lower you bring your shoulder down, the deeper the stretch will be. Next, interlace your hands behind your head and just slowly tuck the top of your spine over. You can wiggle your head no, and then go just a tiny bit deeper, just isolating the top of your spine. This will really loosen up your upper back for your day. Again, trying to hold my ribcage in place so that I don't overextend my low back. Wall stretches are a great way to stay mobile during the day. A great one for your shoulder is putting your hand in a doorway and then twisting to open up your chest. Again, try and keep your rib cage closed and your shoulders down as best as possible. Always tuck your head down if you need help not arching your back. You can also do this bent as well. A simple and easy stretch for your back and shoulders is sliding down a wall with your hands. You can step back and arch your back and slowly slide yourself down the wall. The farther you step out, the harder it will be. You can then bend your legs and try variations of almost twisting and leaning forward too. For the side of your body, stand beside a wall. Cross the leg closest to the wall over and bring that arm closest to the wall onto the wall. Next, you're going to lean into the wall with that knee bent and that arm extended. The more you lean into the wall, the better the stretch will be. Again, keeping my rib cage closed. Stretching at your calves is super important. Pushing into a wall in almost a push-up position, you can lean back into your calves, trying to get your heels down to the ground. You can take one leg forward and leave one back, or keep both legs straight. From there, you can lean forward and also go into some lunges and some squats. Keeping your hips mobile is super important for low back pain as well. Always think about keeping your knee over your toes. You can even stretch out and go into that shoulder stretch we just did earlier. No problem if you can't go to the gym. If you have a chair, you can do these hip openers. Start by crossing one foot over while the other foot is on the floor, and with a flat back, lean forward. You can either hold onto your chair, or if you want to, for an extra challenge, clasp your hands behind your back and extend, going deeper into the stretch. Make sure that you're breathing constantly. You can push that knee that's crossed over down to the side and lean away from it. That will give an even deeper hip opener stretch. If you feel comfortable, you could also cross both legs over onto the chair, one over the other. Again, with a flat back forward, holding onto the chair, you can lean forward, keeping your breath and breathing. Again, you can extend your hands behind your back, up and over for an even deeper stretch, and then lean away from your knee as well. It's super easy to forget about your posture when you're sitting down. A lot of times we sit back and slouch or lean forward and slouch. It helps to find your sits bones and find your posture while sitting on a chair. Make sure your feet are firmly planted into the ground and you're sitting right over your sits bones. That will help alleviate back pain for long term. Next, sit back in the chair, clasp your hands behind your back, and just arch up and over. Sitting in this position helps a lot with alleviating upper back pain and is a good stretch to do in the afternoon. Standing behind a chair, you can go into a quad stretch. Bring one foot close to your glute and bend your foot back. Try and tuck your pelvis under and not arch your low back. From there, you can bend your supporting knee and pull that knee back. Trying not to arch or letting the knee go away from you. Just tucking and pushing that foot back and knee back. The deeper you go in bending your knee, you'll also get an Achilles stretch too. Another stretch you can do is bringing up your thigh and foot to the back of the chair. Keeping your hips square, try and get your knee down and relax forward with a flat back. You can do this with your bottom foot in parallel or turn out your bottom foot. From here, you can also bend for an even deeper stretch and try and get your back as flat as possible. Remember, try and keep your hips square and keep breathing. The higher the chair is too, the more difficult it will be. If you need to, bring yourself closer to a wall to stabilize.
Hope these exercises and stretches help you with feeling your best during your long and busy day. Be sure to check out NYC Stretching for more virtual live classes and sessions with me, Gabrielle Girard. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM us. Thank you, R+Co, for this collaboration and for your amazing hair products. We hope everyone's staying safe and healthy.